Put it there. Gee. Janice, it's a shame you couldn't do an up tune for us, but a ballad like that will
later
do.
In the show.
Yeah, maybe later we can talk into it. You're really shot after a number, let alone a whole evening, I would think. Do you tend to kind of collapse after the show?
Well,
when you do a show?
No, usually because I get so turned on by doing one that it's hard to do. It's hard to stop after one, to tell you the truth, because it just makes you want to do more.
Your engine is revved up.
Yeah, sort of.
I know all the hip expressions, you see. Engine is revved up.
You're a real swinger, I could tell by your shoes, man.
Wait a minute now, Janice. These were good enough for my grandfather.
I had a lot of trouble last week. Wasn't that tune. We opened with another tune, and I tore a muscle.
I heard about this. You tore a muscle somewhere near Maryland.
It's closer to home than that, baby.
Where,
Well, I played 40 minutes, man. I did 40 minutes.
Yeah, but how do you tear a muscle singing? From the exertion of...
No, I went like that.
Yeah? And actually literally tore a muscle? I mean, like that?
Every time it hurt.
Could you feel it go?
Yeah.
What did they call it? What was it? A case of the muscle?
I went in this big ambulance came in.
Yeah.
Lights. We went through 18 red lights. They got to the hospital, and I laid on the table for 45 minutes before they looked at me. Right? The guy came in to look at me. 30, 45 minutes. Feeled me on me. He says, "You have a torn muscle."
You knew that when you came in.
Right, man. Right.
Yeah.
I could have gone home and gone to sleep.
Now, what do they do? They set a muscle, or did they tape you all up?
He told me
or
to be
something?
still.
Hey, I want to ask you about that tune that you just sang, like I just agreed to ask you about. You wrote the first tune, right?
Wrote the first tune, the one we just did. It's about men.
It's about men. It was a little hard to tell what it was about because I was standing over there where the sound was a little distorted.
Well, inside of my head, that's what it's about anyway.
Yeah.
It's about, do you ever see those mule carts?
Yeah.
There's a dumb mule up there, right? And they have a long stick with a string and a carrot hanging in it. And they hang this thing out in front of the mule's nose, and he runs after it all day long.
And who's the man in this parable? The mule or the person holding the carrot?
The woman is the mule,
and
chasing something that somebody's always teasing.
Constantly chasing a man.
Yeah.
Who always eludes her.
Well, they just always hold up something more than they're prepared to give.
I have to defend my entire sex, ladies and gentlemen. The burden of the
Go
defense.
right ahead.
Of the Why, in arm wrestling, I could take you 2 out of 3, I have a feeling.
I hope so.
Do you actually sit down when you get up in the morning and write out a song, or when you say you write it, do you compose it on your feet?
You just make it up. I don't write songs, I just make them up.
They don't exist on paper, your songs, in other words.
Sometimes I write down the words so I don't forget them, but I mean, I don't write songs. I mean, that's a whole different concept. I just make them up.
Yeah. What do you think when you're singing? Are you actually thinking what's going on in the song, or can your mind be somewhere else, or do you feel kind of transported,
I'm not really thinking much.
Any of the above?
I'm not really thinking much. You just sort of try and feel.
Yeah. When last I heard of you, you were in the jungles of Brazil. Or maybe not the jungles.
It was pretty funky, but it wasn't the jungle.
Not the jungle, the cities.
No, I went
the
to...
funky cities.
I went to Rio for a carnival, and then I decided to hitchhike around the northern part of Brazil, and did.
And this was not working, just as a kind of vacation?
Just like a regular old beatnik on the road.
Yeah. Do you ever get back to Port Arthur, Texas?
No, but I'm going back in August, man. I guess what I'm doing.
I don't know.
I'm going to my 10th annual high school reunion.
I want to take movies and bring them back here and show
would you like to go, man?
Well, I don't remember. I don't have that many friends in your high school class.
I don't either.
Or mine, for that matter.
I don't either, believe me.
You don't either? You were, weren't you kind of weren't you kind of a business administration major or something in high school? Or, no, it's something in your past. You were...
I worked.
Yeah?
Once.
Had something to do with IBM cards.
Once I did that, yeah, I worked IBM cards. But in school, I majored in art. I was a painter at the time.
Yeah. And do you think you'll have a lot to say to your old high school classmates?
I'm going to laugh a lot.
Were you not surrounded by friends in high school?
They laughed me out of class, out of town, and out of the state. So I'm going home.
How do you know? How do you know they won't move the reunion now that you're going to ask?
That's true. I wasn't going to tell them.
Yeah. I ask this of all my lady guests, but do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have a couple.
I couldn't help noticing that. Is that something new?
One. This is one, yeah.
It's actually, if I may say so, quite lovely.
Thank you. I drew it myself.
It's
a fantastic cat.
It'd rub off, though. Isn't it actual?
No, it doesn't come off at all.
It's real?
I have another one, too.
Who wants to put the next question?
There's a great cat.
I had one.
There's a great cat in San Francisco that does these named Lyle Tuttle, who's got them all over his body. He's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. He has a big sunset here and stars showering down one arm. And he has Aztec symbols on his knees. And it's too much, man.
And on a clear day, you can see Alcatraz.
I invited him to a party, and he tattooed 18 people.
Really?
It's a great party.
Were they against their will, or were
No, they wanted it. No, Michael Pollard got his wife's name on his shoulder. A friend of mine got, some chicks got him here and there. And,
sure, yeah.
You know.
But I had Daffy Duck once for a while as a kid. But it was the kind that you press on. Would you be, speaking of...
Cockamamie?
Cockamamie, they call them.
Cockamamie.
That's short for decalcomania or something. I looked that up one time and promptly forgot it. But be that as it may, could you do another number for us? Not just this moment, but after you get your breath and we come back. We'll be back.